Hello, Elon families, and welcome back to Season 3 of Between the Oaks, where we introduce you to some of the most important and interesting folks on Elon's campus. And as a former coach, I'm really excited today to welcome our newest Director of Athletics, Jenn Strawley. So thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. So you came to Elon, you started in August, right? So about 6 weeks or so on the job.
That's correct.
And came most recently from the University of Miami. So tell us a little bit about kind of your background and what led you to Elon.
So I was a student athlete myself. Athletics has played a major role in my development and understanding that the lessons you learn and the pieces that you develop as a person really help shape the professional I am. And as I've grown in my career in college athletics, Elon really being so committed to the student experience and that student athlete experience being so critical to me, it's what drives me every day, the opportunity to work in a place that is so focused on the student experiences, but yet unafraid to be bold and innovative and really combine those two pieces is what I've fallen in love with about Elon through the process and in my time here.
Yeah, good. So you think that's kind of like what drew you to Elon. What do you think it was about you and your background that drew Elon to you, or like made you the right fit from Elon's perspective?
I think I have a variety of different pieces in my background. I was a student athlete. I spent time at the NCAA national office. I spent time at Columbia University, another FCS program. But I've also spent time in the ACC and had a chance to understand intricacies of athletics at a bunch of different places, and then also how athletics really fits into higher education. And so I think it was that variety of differences in my background. Yep. And, athletics and intercollegiate athletics is an interesting time. And I'm a person that really likes to be grounded in values when you make decisions. But like I said, kind of like Elon, I'm not afraid to think outside the box or to look for new innovative ways to do things. And I think those combination of my personality and that and my background is what drew folks to me too.
Very good. Well, we'll get to the interesting NCAA stuff in just a second. But let's focus on Elon. So this past weekend was your first home football game. I think 11,000 or so in attendance and a win. And so, again, you've been here 6 weeks. You've seen a little bit, for the fall sports getting going. Has anything surprised you in your first 6 weeks?
I don't know that anything surprised me. I mean, Saturday was a fantastic day. I think the energy, thanks to the students who brought so much energy and attendance to that game, the faculty staff who came out, really set the stage for, it was our 5th largest attended game in history. Really had no seats left. Everyone was on Phoenix Hill, just really creating an awesome environment, which sets us up for family weekend and getting parents out here to attend the William & Mary game and create another atmosphere just like the one we created. And so I don't know, there's been surprises. I think there's just been lots of opportunities and lots of engagement. And I guess going back to one of the things that drew me to Elon was also the people. And so it'd be wrong to say I'm surprised by how welcoming they've been, but I've really been overwhelmed by just how welcoming and encouraging and just wonderful the people are associated with Elon.
Very good. So you are the first female athletic director at Elon. Does that matter to you? Does that mean anything to you, or is it just something you don't really think about?
It's something that sets in a moment. I'd like to say I don't think about it, and I probably don't, but what I've realized is the impact it has on others. And so I look back to my childhood and growing up and being able to see female role models and the impact it had for me. And when I hear some of our student athletes say that, or some other students who have come up to me and said that, or even parents who see the opportunity for women when you're the first in something. And so I don't know that I think about it, but I think I look back and understand the importance of it and the importance for young people just to see people who look like them, whether that's by gender or race or anything. And the greater we create those opportunities, the better it is for all of us.
Sure. Well, you mentioned the NCAA and kind of college athletics in general a little bit earlier. So I'd say college sports are at somewhat of a crossroads or an interesting point for sure. We've got schools in California joining the ACC. We've got players unionizing and things like that. Where does Elon fit in a landscape that looks like that?
That's a loaded question right now, isn't it? I think if we're honest in today's world of intercollegiate athletics, I think all institutions are sort of asking that question. I mean, obviously you've seen that when you talk about schools like Cal and Stanford joining the ACC. So I look through that as a lens of opportunity. And I think if we create and build upon a tremendous foundation and elevate our athletics program from that foundation around the values that are important to Elon, and do that as a community with buy-in. So, I view it as we need to set a plan. We need to understand our vision, and we need to build towards that. We'll create the best opportunities for Elon as this world continues to change. Nobody has a crystal ball to know exactly what any of that looks like, but I think that creates just this opportunity and piece to elevate what we do and to energize what we do in a way that positions this university. What's the best opportunities for this university, and how can athletics help continue to grow the brand and the engagement of our institution at large.
Yeah, very good. So yeah, you're right. Nobody would have, if you said 5 years ago that Cal and Stanford would be in the ACC, nobody would have believed you. So
5 years ago.
Who knows what?
6 months ago.
Right. When you were in the ACC, right? Yeah, right. So one other thing, if you've been paying attention to college athletics, you've heard the phrase NIL and name, image, and likeness, and college athletes being able to monetize, I guess, a little bit through using their name and image. Is that a thing at Elon? Like, how does that relate here? I mean, is that something that students are involved with here, or how has that affected Elon athletics?
We do have some student athletes who have taken advantage of that opportunity. And I look at NIL really, if you go back to the pure state of what NIL should be, it's allowing young people to be able to use their true name, image, and likeness to capitalize on that. So that creates entrepreneurships. We have a young person who's gone out and done that and has done pretty well for himself in creating an entrepreneurship around his name, image, and likeness. You've seen great examples of that with young people. The image that we get most publicly on it is a little bit more of the recruiting pieces, right, and the pieces that aren't necessarily, I think, what anybody really wants NIL to be about. But I think at Elon, it becomes focusing on how do we create an environment that encourages our young people to be entrepreneurs, to be creative and innovative in how they view themselves. And if that creates opportunities for our student athletes to be able to use their name, image, and likeness that also then helps Elon, then it's a win-win for everybody. But it has to be done in a way that's consistent with our values. And I think really has to be focused on how they grow as young people and how are they prepared for their time beyond Elon and their experiences with NIL during their time here.
For sure. So again, most of our audience is parents and families of Elon students. And we're hoping most of you all will be here in a couple weeks for family weekend. But for those that maybe aren't coming or aren't on campus a lot, how can people in other parts of the country get involved with Elon Athletics or support Elon Athletics?
I think anytime you come back to campus to visit with your son or daughter, take a look at what athletic events might be on the calendar. Stop by a soccer game or a women's lacrosse game in the spring. But also take a look at where we're going to travel to. We get to the Northeast quite a bit. You and I were talking before. I think there is some energy or some significance in us looking to be more strategic in how we schedule, maybe in the football or men's and women's basketball arena, that can bring Elon to some different communities that help engage parents and others around what we're doing in athletics. I think really the strategic piece about how we use athletics to help not only energize our brand, but create engagement is a really important part as we move forward. And so I just encourage parents to be supportive and to help us continue to have athletics partner with the institution for the betterment of all.
Absolutely. And then for those of you who are coming family weekend, we've got there's a home football game that day. And I believe Saturday night there's volleyball and men's soccer, and then volleyball again on Sunday. So plenty of chances to check out some Phoenix in action if you're visiting. And then I believe it's the following weekend is Night of the Phoenix, which is another opportunity to be involved. What can you tell us about it? This will be your first one, but what do you know about that event and how parents can get involved there?
Night of the Phoenix is, I think, really a signature event that athletics has had, and an opportunity to. It is a fundraiser for us around what we do to support student athletes and scholarships. But I think it's also just a chance for the community to come together. We do a silent auction, which is available on site or online. If you're not able to be here on October 4th, you can participate online. If you're not able to be here on October 4th, you can also go to our website online and get in touch with the Phoenix Club and certainly support us in that endeavor as well. But it's a chance to bring the athletics community together to really celebrate what we do around athletics and raise a little bit of money to support our efforts, which ultimately supports the institution at large and helps us provide those student-athlete experience that I go back to that help shape young people. So it's a fun night, but it's about what that night does, and that night helps provide those student-athlete experiences that are so unique to Elon, but that also help our student-athletes thrive academically, athletically, and prepare them for a life beyond Elon.
Very good, yeah, and I've been to a couple, and it really is a cool event, and for those of you who aren't going to be here, do check out the silent auction online. There's usually some cool things on there that could be worth checking out. So, all right, last thing I want to talk about is a move from Miami to Elon. Seems like a pretty big shift in a lot of ways. How has that transition been for you to move from what we think of as big city and that sort of thing to small town North Carolina? What's that been like?
The transition's actually been terrific, and I close on my house here in Elon today.
Oh, nice.
So
awesome.
as we have it, I guess
Busy
that officially closes a transition period in some way.
Yep.
I'm incredibly grateful to the 11 years I spent at the University of Miami and in the Miami community, and I was able to take advantage of the culture. I love the Florida Keys and the pieces that come with living there. But we couldn't be more excited to be in the Elon community and to be in North Carolina, where you do have just a tremendous community here in Elon and the greater Burlington area. You have an institution that's really embedded in that community, and we're just excited to be a part of that. I'm looking forward to some fall days.
Yeah, it's finally cooling off a little bit.
Cooling off a little bit. I might miss a little of the temperatures in January in Miami, but otherwise I'm excited to have fall and to have 4 seasons, and to just continue to embrace and be a part of this community.
Have you found any cool spots yet? Any favorite restaurants to go to, or any spots on campus that have become your favorites already?
So I'm a big Italian restaurant person, and I think Prego is
very good.
about as good as any Italian restaurant I've been to. So I'll put a plug in for that.
For sure.
And just being able to get out and to be active, ride bikes and be around. Campus is obviously beautiful this time of year. So we have a dog, love to take her for walks in and around the area too.
Very good. Well, really appreciate you being here today, and excited to see some of the awesome changes that are going to happen with Elon Athletics and continue moving that program forward. So we appreciate it very much, and appreciate all of you at home for watching, and we will see you next time.